Dear astrophotographers, stop losing sleep. There's a better way to image. No more droopy eyes in the morning. No more double espresso shots needed. And no more sleeping underneath your desk. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. With a little bit of pre-planning, you too could sleep all night and still gather imaging data. Who knew? Now there's a couple things that you do need to be aware of. If you live in a crime-ridden area, do not leave your astrophotography gear outside unattended. But if you have one of those guard dogs, you know those ones with the real sharp teeth and bark a lot, go ahead, leave it out there. Let the burglars worry about your dog and let your dog have a little bit of fun for a change. Now if you live in one of those safe and secure areas, go ahead, leave your gear out, and I'm going to tell you what you need to do to set up so you can shoot and sleep all night long. Let's face it, we all need to get our beauty sleep. So first, go ahead and set up your telescope outside. Second, polar line. Third, turn on PhD, let it select a star, and go ahead and let it calibrate. Fourth, go ahead and shut PhD down once it's done calibrating. Yes, turn the software off and disconnect your gear. 5, watch this video and I will show you exactly what you need to do so you can sleep all night and get your beauty sleep. Just what we all need. Legal disclaimer, not everyone's going to regain that youthful glow with added sleep. But I'll tell you what, the people around you the next day will be appreciative that you're not so grumpy. Watch this video. Hi everyone, I wanted to take a moment and show you how I run a sequence completely automated. So I set it up, I say go ahead and start sequence, and I go to bed. And an hour or two later, when my target is high enough in the sky, my sequence will automatically start, and I didn't do anything. So let me show you how we set this up. If you go to in Sequence Generator Pro, go to your tools and go, whoops. I am on remotely here, so I'm at the mercy of my internet. Here we go, Equipment Profile Manager. And let it open up. I go to my profile that I use. And the big thing for me is you've got to have plate solving work. But it's this auto guide section. And under auto guide, I have the settings. Open and connect gear to PhD2, which that's what it's doing right now, when sequence starts using the profile above. And this is the profile that I use. And then I give it permission to disconnect my gear from PhD2 when the sequence is done. So as long as those two are set up, PhD will automatically open for you. But the key is not to have it open before you start. So now that we know that it's working and it opens, let me go ahead and disconnect all my stuff here. All right, it's not connected. Let's close it and let's close the program. I'm going to save my profile and say OK. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to shoot the Pac-Man Nebula tonight, and my profile is the one that we just worked on here, and it is set up to work. So I will go ahead and I will turn on my cameras and my filter wheel and my focuser. I will turn on my telescope and get it connected using EQ mod, and make sure that it's not parked. It's got to be ready to run. Do not have it in park. Okay, and let's go down here to my rotator and let's plug it in. So now all my equipment is hooked up and ready to go. Now if you come over here to your target and hit this little gear wheel, it'll open up this sub menu. And what I've got it doing here is I've got it starting at 6:40 this evening, which I know is early and I am not going to bed then. This is just to prove that it works, which is today. And I'm going to have it end in the morning at 5:30 a.m., which is the astronomical sunrise. Okay, so if I was to sit here and go to planning tools, let me show you how cool this is. Right now, at my sequence start time, make sure, yep, my sequence start time, it's going to be at 46 degrees in the sky. And I'm having it stop at about 19 degrees in the sky. Actually, it's going to be a bit low. I should change my stop time. Probably closer up here to 4 a.m. So that's good to know. So we will change that when we go back. But basically it's telling me that I don't have any errors and it will run as I expect it to. So I say okay. But let's change our time tomorrow. Let's go backwards an hour. And let's back it up to 4 a.m. and have it just shut everything down. Because by that time it will be in the trees in my backyard. Okay. 4 a.m. And sometimes it does this when you toggle back and forth. It's going to start again tomorrow. Not what I want. Just keep an eye on this time because it will mess with you sometimes. And I'm going to go back to 6:40 this evening. Okay, and let's check our planning tools. That has me rising at 46 degrees when I start, and it will stop at about 30 degrees. Perfect. We'll say okay. All right, starting at 6:40 tonight, ending at 4 a.m. tomorrow. That is perfect. We will say okay. I've got my directory set. I've got all of my images set as I want to take them. I've got 10 hours worth of images here, so if it starts at 7, let's say 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 a.m. is 9 hours. That's 10 hours worth of runtime. So let's back off some of these images until we get closer to 9 hours. And we know that we're going to have some download time between images. And we're going to lose a couple minutes every time it focuses. And I'm sure there's going to be a meridian flip in there somewhere. So 8 hours and 50 minutes, that'll work. Chances are I'll still lose 1 or 2 of these SIs, but not a big deal. Okay, and now the key is with all of this, my telescope is set up, my sequence is set up. I'm going to hit File, save the sequence just for good measure. PhD is not open, and I'm going to say Start my sequence. And by doing this, it's saying I require a telescope. Yes. I'll delay start until the camera gets to temperature. Sure, why not? I've got plenty of time. I have exactly 6 minutes before this is going to start. But notice it just opened up PhD for me. So I'm going to slide this over as soon as it lets me here. And let's get them both lined up on my screen so we can see it start up. Make it bigger. Come on. All right. And it should connect everything all by itself. So I am not going to touch a thing. I will come back at 6:39 and let's see if this thing runs the way I expect it to. Well, here we go, guys. It is 6:40 and it has started automatically and I have touched nothing. First thing it's going to do is it's going to take an image, it's going to plate solve, and it will slew the telescope over towards the Pac-Man Nebula, which is over in the northeast side of the sky right now. Alright, so there's my image. Let's show my image. Let's take a peek at it. And let's zoom out just a little bit. And of course it catches an airplane right out of the bat. Estimating background, subtracting the background. And let's see where it goes. Usually it takes 2, sometimes 3 times for it to solve. The first time gets me close and it will rotate the camera where it needs to be. The second time the rotation is usually perfect and it will still have to shift a few more degrees. So it is identifying some points here. It's doing a spiral search. I have had this take a while. I didn't take too much care this evening in making sure it was lined up well. Oh look, 33 regions, that's not too shabby. That's pretty quick. But I am 5,373 pixels out and 47 degrees in error. So it will rotate my camera right now. Let's go ahead and close this image out so we can see. Okay. Yes, I know. But I wanted to see it's rotating my camera right now for me. It looks like it wants to go to 316 degrees. It's at 337 degrees. And decreasing. Alright, 316 degrees. Time to take another image for it to plate solve. Downloading the frame. There we go. Let's take a peek at the image. I'll zoom out some. That's kind of looking pretty darn close. I see a pattern here. And it's doing all of this on the luminance filter. All right, we're extracting our stars now. Let's see if it has to do another spiral search, if it knows where it's at. Looks like it found something. One region, perfect, that looks good. All right, let's close the image and see, it failed. Not a huge deal, but look at where it failed at. 69 pixels, and I think I have an error of 40 pixels, which is pretty tight. But I'll tell you what, this rotator is so good, and the focus and everything. Getting within 40 pixels is not hard to do. Just takes a couple tries. So this will be the third time that it's running through plate solve, which is very typical for me. All right, it looks like it's solved. That's good. It says it's going to resume the auto garter. This is where I sometimes have a hiccup going, so let's see if it's going to work. It looks like it did it. All right, it selected a star. It started taking the image. Let's see. Awesome, look at that. It is now starting to guide and adjust. It's setting my oxygen filter. And the next thing it should do is run focus for me. So I'm going to close that up just so we can watch what's going on here. There we go. It's going to go focus. Now it's guiding through the focusing, so the guide won't look that great. So don't have heart failure over it when you see it jumping around like that. And I've got it really compressed right now on my screen. So let's see how this focusing works today. In theory, I should get myself a really nice V shape, and it will take my focus where it's at right now. It'll bump it out a few degrees, and it'll take an image, and then it'll go in and in and in until it's as low as it thinks it's got. And then when it goes one more step and it starts to go up, it will keep going up and hopefully create a nice V shape. Now, if it doesn't, then it has to do with your increments. And you just have to work on the step sizes that you choose with your focuser. This took me several times out to come up with a good set of numbers. Let's stretch that out some. Let's clear. Well, it looks like it's going to start heading back up now. Usually I get 3 or 4 before it starts heading back up. It really just depends on what filter I used the last time I was out and what setting it was at. Now, a lot of times if it's real early in the evening and it's not really quite dark yet or my target's not up high yet, I'll run the Auto Guider Assistant just to adjust these numbers some. And sometimes that will smooth things out for me. That is a little erratic looking, but I'm not overly concerned. My total is sitting here at 0.96 pixel inches. So my scale is 1.37 for my camera. As long as I am lower than 1.37, my guiding is just fine and I don't have to worry about it. I guess it wasn't happy with the last focus run, so it is running focus one more time. And that's okay. Better safe than sorry. I like that it knows. Yep, not the greatest. But you know what? I can live with that because I did not polar align tonight. All I did was go outside, put my telescope on my mount that has been sitting outside for a couple days now. And I balanced it. And we're using polar alignment from a few days ago just to see if it works. Right now, it doesn't look too bad. I might be able to work with this. Ultimately, I'm only wanting 4-minute images, so I can probably just plow right through this and not worry. I'm taking narrowband images tonight because I've got like 87% moon out there. And the moon is probably about 40 degrees up off the horizon now in the east. So it's probably going to mess with me some tonight. But you know what? When you have a clear sky, you just go for it. Forget about the moon, just change your plan a little bit. Instead of LRGB, I will go narrowband. And I'm just going to add to this target that I started last month, and I haven't processed it yet, so why not add more? Alright, that curve is coming all the way down. Let's see if it should start heading back up soon. Because it's taken, let's see how many pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And normally I have it only take 7 images, so it bumped itself out way too far. There we go, going back up now. It'll take another 3 or 4 images just to be sure. If it starts doing a little zigzag pattern right now, then my scale is off and I'll have to adjust that. But it shouldn't be because I've had this set probably for about a year now. There, it's going back up. And the telephone rings. Hold on. Alright, so do you guys get these oddball calls that says, hey, your car warranty is about to expire. We've already sent you a letter in the mail, but we're sending you this one last courtesy call just to see if you're really interested. Well, you know, I've been getting that one last courtesy call for well over a year now, and they have yet to get the picture. My car warranty is just fine, y'all. Stop calling me. All right, we are focused. We are now taking the first image. It is a 4-minute image. In 55 seconds, we will have our first image out, and that will be the deciding factor if my polar alignment is okay from earlier this week or if I need to go outside and redo it. there it is. And of course, my first image has been christened with an airplane. So that means I'm going to have a great night, don't you think? Come on, zoom in some. Oh yeah, my stars look pretty darn good. I'll take it. Let's zoom out. There's my Pac-Man. Let's see, I think I started on oxygen. Yep, I started on oxygen. It's 240 seconds. I'm going to take about 40 of them. And let me show you here my event settings. I am doing an event gain of 139 and 21. And let's see. And I'll take oxygen, hydrogen alpha, and sulfur 2 tonight. And hopefully in 8 hours and 44 seconds, I will have more data to add to the previous data. And we will hopefully process this really, really soon. And that's it for my sequence. So automated sequence, if I was to start this at 2 a.m., which I have done in the past, just set it up, press start your sequence, go to bed, and don't worry about it. It will start all by itself, like magic. Well, till next time, I am wishing everybody a set of very clear skies. I appreciate you taking the time and watching my videos. If you like this video, please select like down below. If you really liked it, subscribe and hit the alert bell so you know when I upload new astro-related material. I do appreciate everything. Until next time, clear skies, y'all. Goodbye.